Welcome to Bedtime True Crime, the YouTube channel that takes you on a haunting exploration of the world of true crime, serial killers, and unsolved mysteries. Join us as we journey into the shadows, unearthing spine-tingling tales that will keep you awake at night. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to never miss another thrilling episode. Now get comfortable, turn off the lights, and prepare to be captivated by the sinister side of human nature as we delve into today's bone-chilling story. In the early 1990s, a tranquil English town became an unsuspecting stage for a series of chilling events that would leave its residents haunted and forever alter history. Beverley Allitt, who appeared to be nothing more than an ordinary nurse, was on the verge of unveiling her true nature as one of Britain's most infamous serial killers. Nestled in Lincolnshire, Grantham seemed like the least likely place for such atrocities to occur. Its quiet streets boasted quaint shops and historic buildings, while warm-hearted locals went about their daily lives, entirely unaware of the sinister shadow creeping beneath the surface. During this time, Ward 4 at Grantham and Kesteven Hospital bore no difference from countless pediatric units across England. Parents placed their trust in dedicated nurses who worked tirelessly around the clock to ensure sick children received optimal care. Among these medical professionals stood Beverley Allitt, a seemingly compassionate young woman in her early 20s who had recently qualified as a nurse. At first glance, Allitt embodied everything one might hope for in a caregiver: empathetic, hardworking, and eager to help others. Yet unbeknownst to those around her lay dark secrets waiting to emerge in horrifying ways. As we venture deeper into this twisted tale rife with deception and murder, you'll unearth how Beverley Allitt earned herself the macabre moniker, the Angel of Death. By our journey's end tonight, you'll uncover what drove this outwardly unassuming nurse down such a terrifying path. But beware, some details may prove too disturbing even for the stoutest hearts. So sit back and steel yourself for a spine-chilling narrative laden with heartache, betrayal, and unspeakable evil. This is far from your average bedtime story. It's an eerie plunge into darkness where innocence collides head-on with malevolence. The nightmare began on a cold February evening in 1991 when an inexplicable series of medical emergencies started plaguing Ward 4. Children admitted for relatively minor ailments like mild fevers and coughs suddenly took shocking turns for the worse, leaving doctors and nurses both baffled and terrified as they scrambled to save their young patients. The first victim was 7-week-old Liam Taylor, who had been hospitalized with what seemed like a manageable chest infection. But one fateful night, his heart unexpectedly stopped beating. The air grew thick with tension as medical staff frantically tried to revive him. However, despite their best efforts, little Liam tragically passed away. His sudden death left everyone shaken, but no one could have predicted that this heartbreaking event marked just the beginning of a horrifying pattern. Only 2 weeks later, another innocent life hung in the balance. Timothy Hardwick, an infant boy, rushed into Ward 4 after suffering an epileptic seizure. Once again, Beverley Allitt found herself entrusted with caring for a vulnerable child in need. Under her seemingly watchful eye, Timothy's condition rapidly deteriorated until he succumbed to respiratory failure, ultimately dying within Allitt's very arms. As more children mysteriously fell ill under eerily similar circumstances over the following weeks, including Kaylee Desmond and Paul Crampton, panic began spreading through Grantham and Kesteven Hospital like wildfire. Parents were consumed by terror for their children's safety, while doctors struggled to find any logical explanation for these alarming events. Whispers soon turned into rumors about a potential serial killer stalking the halls of the hospital itself. Fear gripped not only those directly affected, but also rippled throughout the entire community, as people questioned if someone among them could be responsible for such unspeakable acts against defenseless children. In each case, there appeared to be no obvious cause or reason behind these sudden health crises. All tests came back inconclusive, and autopsies revealed nothing out of the ordinary. Yet unbeknownst to anyone at the time, a sinister presence lurked within Ward 4, something far darker than anyone could ever fathom. As the inexplicable series of deaths and illnesses continued to cast a dark shadow over Ward 4, Hospital staff found themselves gripped by mounting concern. Desperate for answers, they began scrutinizing every aspect of their patients' care, from medication administration to equipment maintenance, in an attempt to uncover any potential clues. During this period of heightened vigilance, a chilling pattern emerged that sent shockwaves through the corridors of Grantham and Kesteven Hospital. Beverley Allitt had been present at each incident involving a child's sudden deterioration or death. This alarming discovery turned suspicion towards one of their own trusted nurses, leaving her colleagues reeling in disbelief. The police were promptly notified, launching an investigation into Allitt's actions. As detectives delved deeper into her background, they unearthed unsettling details about her past behavior. Prior to becoming a nurse, she had exhibited signs of Munchausen syndrome, a psychiatric disorder characterized by individuals feigning illness or injury for attention and sympathy. Could it be possible that Allitt had taken her need for validation to horrifying new heights by intentionally harming those under her care? The evidence seemed to suggest so. However, investigators needed more concrete proof before they could bring charges against her. As authorities raced against time to gather sufficient evidence, tragedy struck once again on April 22nd, when 15-month-old Claire Peck suffered a severe asthma attack while under Allitt's watchful eye. Despite receiving emergency treatment within minutes, little Claire succumbed after experiencing 2 separate cardiac arrests, both occurring suspiciously soon after being left alone with Allitt. This latest heart-wrenching loss proved too much for the beleaguered medical staff at Grantham and Kesteven Hospital. They demanded immediate action be taken against the suspected killer lurking within their midst. Unbeknownst to them all, the net was closing in around Beverley Allitt. But would justice come swiftly enough to prevent further harm? And what dark secrets still lay hidden, waiting to be unearthed in this macabre tale of deception and murder? As investigators delved deeper into the mounting evidence against Beverley Allitt, they made a chilling discovery that would shake them to their core. They found that she had been injecting her young patients with lethal doses of insulin or potassium substances which, when administered in excessive amounts, could cause heart failure and other life-threatening complications. The horrifying truth began to sink in. They were dealing with a cold-blooded killer who had used her position as a nurse to prey on vulnerable children for her own twisted gratification. The walls seemed to close in around Allitt as detectives tirelessly pieced together the gruesome puzzle. In their pursuit of justice, investigators uncovered further damning evidence. In several instances, medical equipment such as syringes and IV lines had been tampered with by none other than Allitt herself. She would cunningly inject air bubbles into these devices, causing potentially fatal embolisms in her unsuspecting victims. As the investigation progressed, it became clear that this was no isolated incident. Rather, it was part of a sickening pattern that spanned months. It was believed that Allitt attacked at least 13 children during her brief tenure at Grantham and Kesteven Hospital, 4 of whom tragically lost their lives while others suffered permanent disabilities due to oxygen deprivation caused by cardiac arrest. With each revelation more sinister than the last, authorities knew they needed to act quickly before the Angel of Death could strike again. On November 21, 1991, 9 agonizing months after Liam Taylor's untimely death, Beverley Allitt was finally arrested and charged with multiple counts of murder and attempted murder. As news of her capture spread like wildfire throughout the nation, people struggled to comprehend how someone entrusted with caring for society's most vulnerable members could commit such heinous acts. But even as justice loomed on the horizon for the grieving families affected by Allitt's reign of terror, one burning question remained. What drove this seemingly ordinary woman down such an evil path? And would any answer ever truly explain or justify the horrors inflicted upon those innocent souls? The stage was set for a gripping trial that promised to unveil the truth behind Allitt's twisted actions. But as we all know, sometimes reality can be far more terrifying than fiction. As the date of Beverley Allitt's trial drew nearer, a growing sense of unease pervaded the air. The public and media clamored for answers, desperate to understand what could have driven this seemingly ordinary nurse to commit such unspeakable acts. In the courtroom, prosecutors painted a chilling picture of a woman plagued by deep-seated psychological issues, someone who sought attention and validation through harming innocent children. Expert witnesses took the stand one by one, testifying that Allitt likely suffered from Munchausen syndrome by proxy, an insidious form of abuse where caregivers intentionally cause harm or illness in those under their care to gain sympathy and recognition. This twisted need for affirmation drove Allitt to prey upon her most vulnerable patients, fragile souls entrusted into her care at Grantham and Kesteven Hospital. Throughout the trial, harrowing accounts from surviving victims' families echoed hauntingly within the walls of the courtroom. Their voices trembled as they detailed the unimaginable pain and suffering endured at the hands of someone they had believed was there to help them heal. Parents spoke with tear-streaked faces about how their once healthy children now grappled with debilitating health problems caused by Allitt's cruel actions. The defense attempted to argue that Allitt was mentally unfit to stand trial. However, this claim crumbled under scrutiny from both medical experts and jurors alike. They concluded that she was fully aware of her actions and understood the devastating consequences inflicted upon her young victims. On May 28, 1993, after weeks filled with emotionally charged testimonies and expert analyses revealing disturbing truths about the Angel of Death, Beverley Allitt was found guilty on 4 counts of murder, 3 counts of grievous bodily harm with intent, and 6 counts of attempted murder. She received 13 life sentences for her heinous crimes, 1 for each child whose life she irrevocably altered during her time at the hospital. As news of the Angel of Death's conviction rippled through the community, a collective sigh of relief washed over those who had been holding their breath for justice. Yet even as closure seemed within reach for some families affected by these horrific events, others would continue grappling with unanswered questions about how such darkness could lurk beneath an outwardly caring facade. But rest assured, answers to these lingering mysteries await us in the shadows, revealing themselves piece by chilling piece as we delve further into this macabre tale. In the aftermath of Beverley Allitt's conviction, many were left questioning how someone so disturbed could have slipped through the cracks and been allowed to work in a position of trust with vulnerable children. The investigation into her actions unveiled numerous red flags that should have raised concerns during her employment at Grantham and Kesteven Hospital. It came to light that before becoming a nurse, Allitt had an extensive history of self-harm and fabricated illnesses, classic signs of Munchausen syndrome. Yet despite this troubling background, she managed to secure a job as a pediatric nurse without any apparent difficulty. The hospital administration faced relentless scrutiny for their failure to recognize these warning signs or take appropriate action when suspicions first arose about Allitt's involvement in the unexplained medical emergencies on Ward 4. Many wondered if more stringent vetting procedures might have prevented such tragedy from unfolding. Determined to learn from these mistakes, authorities implemented new protocols within the healthcare system aimed at preventing similar incidents from occurring in the future. These measures included increased monitoring of staff behavior, improved communication between medical professionals, and stricter hiring practices designed to identify potential risks before they became threats. Despite these efforts to safeguard patients' welfare, some critics argue that no amount of regulation can ever truly eliminate the risk posed by individuals like Beverley Allitt, who are determined to exploit positions of trust for their own twisted purposes. As investigators delved deeper into systemic failures that may have enabled Allitt's crimes, they also unearthed crucial forensic evidence collected throughout their inquiry. This painstaking process involved analyzing blood samples taken from affected children, as well as scrutinizing medical records and equipment used during their treatment. Through meticulous examination, experts were able to conclusively link Allitt's actions with each child's sudden deterioration or death, providing irrefutable proof that she had intentionally caused harm using insulin injections or potassium overdoses. As this groundbreaking forensic analysis unfolded before them, detectives felt both shock and relief, knowing that the evidence they collected would play a pivotal role in securing Allitt's eventual conviction and ensuring justice was served for the innocent victims whose lives were forever altered by her evil deeds. Little did they know, more chilling revelations awaited them as their investigation continued to unfold, revealing even darker secrets about the Angel of Death that would leave them questioning everything they thought they knew. As the families of Beverley Allitt's victims grappled with their unimaginable loss and suffering, they sought solace in sharing their stories and supporting one another through the darkest moments. The unwavering courage displayed by these parents, as they faced heartbreak head-on, bore testament to the resilience of the human spirit. For some, like David and Joanne Taylor, parents of 7-week-old Liam, who had been Allitt's first victim, closure or justice would forever remain elusive. Their precious baby boy had been cruelly snatched away before he even had a chance at life, leaving them consumed by feelings of anger, sadness, and disbelief that someone could commit such atrocities against innocent children. Meanwhile, others attempted to find meaning amidst their pain. Kaylee Desmond's mother, Marie, channeled her anguish into raising awareness about Munchausen syndrome by proxy and advocating for better safeguards within healthcare settings. Although Kaylee miraculously survived her ordeal under Allitt's care, she was left with lasting damage due to oxygen deprivation caused by cardiac arrest. Paul Crampton's family desperately sought answers after their son nearly succumbed to an insulin overdose administered by Allitt. Despite making a remarkable recovery, Paul's brush with death resulted in lifelong health complications that serve as constant reminders of the horror inflicted upon him during those fateful days on Ward 4. As we delve deeper into these survivors' harrowing accounts of near misses, we uncover not only tales of despair, but also powerful reminders of strength and determination in the face of adversity. These brave individuals have overcome incredible odds to rebuild their lives following unthinkable trauma, proving that while evil may sometimes cast its shadow over innocence, it cannot extinguish hope entirely. However, lingering questions still haunt us. What other secrets lurk beneath this macabre tale? Will there be any revelations that shed light on how such darkness could reside behind an outwardly caring facade? As we remember those lost at the hands of Beverley Allitt and honor the indomitable spirit shown by survivors and their families alike, let us seize this opportunity to reflect on our own capacity for empathy and compassion towards others, lest we forget how fragile life can be in the face of darkness. For now, however, these answers remain shrouded in mystery as we continue our chilling journey into the Angel of Death's twisted world. To fully grasp the horrifying extent of Beverley Allitt's crimes, we must delve into her enigmatic motivations and background. Born in 1968 within the sleepy village of Corby Glen near Grantham, Allitt was the youngest among 4 siblings. Her childhood appeared unremarkable on the surface. However, during her teenage years, she began to exhibit alarming signs of Munchausen syndrome, fabricating illnesses and injuries solely for attention. Despite these troubling red flags, Allitt pursued a career in nursing and ultimately secured a position at Grantham and Kesteven Hospital. It is believed that her insatiable need for validation and control propelled her towards working with vulnerable patients, an ominous combination when paired with her burgeoning psychopathic tendencies. As authorities painstakingly unraveled Allitt's psyche following her arrest, they uncovered a web of deceitful lies spun by the Angel of Death herself. She fabricated relationships, pregnancies, and even claimed to have cancer, all meticulously orchestrated manipulations designed to exert control over every facet of her existence. Forensic psychologists examining Allitt reached chilling conclusions. She suffered from both Munchausen syndrome by proxy and narcissistic personality disorder, conditions marked by extreme self-centeredness, lack of empathy for others, and an overwhelming craving for admiration. These factors likely played a sinister role in driving Allitt to harm innocent children under her care as a twisted means of gaining recognition while simultaneously wielding power over their fragile lives. In this haunting tale shrouded in darkness, one question looms large. What could possibly compel Beverley Allitt down such a malevolent path? Why did she choose society's most defenseless members as targets for her heinous acts? As we venture further into this macabre narrative filled with deception and murder, prepare yourself for spine-chilling revelations that peel back the layers behind the facade of caring nurse, revealing a cold-blooded killer whose actions will forever haunt those affected by the Angel of Death's reign of terror. The relentless manhunt for Beverley Allitt reached its climax on November 21, 1991. As word of her capture rippled through Grantham and beyond, a palpable sense of relief intermingled with disbelief. How could someone sworn to heal have inflicted such unspeakable harm? Throughout the arduous investigation leading up to her arrest, authorities meticulously pieced together evidence from medical records, witness accounts, and groundbreaking forensic analysis. This painstaking process enabled them to construct an ironclad case against Allitt that would ultimately result in her conviction on multiple counts of murder and attempted murder. As the trial unfolded before their eyes, harrowing details emerged about each victim's nightmarish ordeal at the hands of the Angel of Death. Prosecutors presented an overwhelming body of evidence linking Allitt directly to these heinous crimes, leaving no room for doubt regarding her guilt. On May 28, 1993, after weeks filled with emotionally charged testimony and expert analysis that exposed disturbing truths about the Angel of Death's twisted psyche, Beverley Allitt was found guilty and sentenced to 13 life sentences for her appalling actions. She was sent to Rampton Secure Hospital, a high-security psychiatric facility where she remains incarcerated today under constant supervision. In the aftermath of this shocking case, lingering questions echoed throughout society. How had such a disturbed individual been granted access to vulnerable patients without arousing suspicion sooner? Could more stringent hiring practices or monitoring procedures have prevented this tragedy from unfolding? These haunting inquiries spurred intense scrutiny over healthcare system protocols, prompting widespread reforms aimed at preventing similar atrocities from occurring in the future. New safeguards were implemented within hospitals nationwide. However, some critics argue that even these measures cannot entirely eliminate the risk posed by individuals like Allitt, who are determined to exploit positions of trust for their own twisted ends. For those forever scarred by Beverley Allitt's reign of terror, true closure or healing may remain elusive. Yet they can find a measure of solace knowing that justice has been served for their loved ones, innocent souls whose lives were irrevocably altered by the sinister predator lurking within Ward 4. As we reflect upon this chilling chapter in true crime history, let us not forget the lessons learned from these tragic events. To be ever vigilant and wary of the darkness that can sometimes hide in plain sight, even within institutions designed to heal and protect. As we reach the chilling conclusion of our journey into Beverley Allitt's twisted world, it is vital to recognize that her heinous actions do not define the entire nursing profession or healthcare system. In stark contrast to the horrors inflicted by Allitt, countless dedicated nurses work tirelessly every day to provide compassionate care for their patients. The sobering tale of the Angel of Death serves as a reminder that darkness can sometimes hide in plain sight, even within institutions designed to heal and protect. It underscores the importance of vigilance and communication among medical professionals and highlights the necessity for thorough background checks when hiring individuals entrusted with society's most vulnerable members. In honoring the memories of those whose lives were tragically cut short or forever altered by Allitt's monstrous acts, let us strive to create safer environments where trust is earned through transparency and accountability. While we may never fully comprehend what drove Beverley Allitt down such a dark path, learning from this tragedy enables us to work together in preventing similar atrocities from happening again. As you ponder upon these haunting revelations, consider how easily darkness might lurk beneath seemingly ordinary facades, leaving unsuspecting victims caught in its sinister web. Remember always to stay vigilant against unseen threats lurking around corners, while seeking solace in knowing that there are many who dedicate their lives to ensuring safety and healing for all. With bated breath, await further spine-chilling tales filled with deception, murder, and suspenseful twists, guaranteed to keep you on edge. For now, though, let your imagination wander amidst shadows cast by the Angel of Death as her story fades into distant memory. But beware, some secrets refuse to remain buried. So until next time, fellow night owls, be sure not only watch out for notorious killers or sinister stories waiting just beyond your line of sight, but also share them with others, so they too may learn valuable lessons about staying alert amid an often unpredictable world, teeming with danger at every turn. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all our stories, and help us continue telling these true crime tales.